slash Yell the MMO show. What are you laughing about?
What are you doing with your hands, Indigo?
Oh, I'm listening to my own music because I can't stand your shitty music.
Yeah,
So-
I let's move on from that. let's not
Down for what? Anyway.
Let's not bring that up today.
My name is Doc, and every week I have myself and my two awesome
Every
co-hosts.
week you have yourself.
Indigo.
All right, get it.
I have myself.
Get it.
Yeah.
Indigo
So
and Croog.
I'm Croog.
I'm
Say
Indigo.
hi, gentlemen.
We just
And we
did.
go.
Did.
Well, you're not. Keep up with me here. And we go through the news and views on MMOs throughout the week.
Yeah, we do that.
I mean, so I would normally say let's go over our weeks, but they've kind of been all the same, right?
Yeah.
The Division and Sleep
And WoW.
and WoW.
And WoW.
So
And a little Black Desert for me.
Oh,
really like that. So Croog, you said that after the show Acadian was on, you guys played WoW and you really started to enjoy it. And now you're actually full on playing it, right?
Yep. I am now a WoW player. I'm a noob. I'm a WoW noob.
And,
Yep.
And it's so much so that he's actually like enjoying memes that are WoW specific.
Yeah, right
and
before this
From like
show,
2006.
right before /yell, they are probably from 2006. I was looking up like healer memes, and it's adorable. And it's like what healers are expected to be like, and there's like a picture of this like kawaii little healer looking dude, and he's like, I just want to help everyone in the group, but my heals aren't strong enough. And then it says what healers are actually like, and it's the same guy, but he's just kind of like standing there like looking really fucking fed up with everything, and he's like, why did you pull? You're not the tank. Slow down, tank. I'm not going at your fucking ridiculous pace. If you don't slow down, you're gonna die. Why are you standing there? I hate everyone. I hate all of you, which is pretty much true.
So when I used to be a healer in WoW, that was my first thing. That was my attitude after playing an game and trying to raid. My thought was like, okay, look, you pull, I'm just not going to heal you. And once they die, I have to do their res and get mad at me and go, okay, well, there you go. There's your lesson. You don't pull. Simple as that. And you'd be surprised at how fast they fell into line. It was the greatest feeling of complete control of my life. And I'm that kind of player that I don't need to be the shining example. I just need to be the reason why you succeeded, and you should obviously admit that.
Well, it's funny you say that because when we were playing, because we're still low level, we're still pre-20, and everyone we play with in dungeons have like full sets of heirloom gear. These are alts for alts for alts, and we're going through and like we had a hunter and just pulled everything, and I know it annoys the shit out of Doc because he's like, I'm the tank, I should be pulling, but I
stood there for about 2 pulls, and I went, okay, cool. Then I realized, oh shit, he's heirloomed out. He's just gonna blast through him, and then I can't do anything about it.
Yep. Basically,
this is not the same game anymore.
So that being said, that was our week.
Yeah. And the Division, which is super fun. I think we had a 10-minute time at one point. We were going rogue. It was us three and a friend of ours.
Oh, it was so fun.
Most hair-raising thing I'd been part of in a while.
It's so
we were
stressful.
giggling like school children.
So we went in. Yeah, it was the most fun thing. So we went into the dark zone. We decided that we weren't going to kill anyone. We weren't going to go rogue. And we went around and we like looked for mobs, and we could not find any. And then finally one of us was just like, let's just kill other people.
Indigo looks at a guy and he goes, just kill him, right? And so I told him, you do realize it's proximity vocals, he can hear you. And the dude speaks French. So Indigo shoots him, he's on the ground, and you hear him see broken English, no, I friend, and then you hear Indigo go, don't care.
Yep, and then melee. So after he did that, we just ran around, because, okay, so I'll explain a mechanic to you in the Division if you don't play it. We ran around and just started killing people, whether they had gear on them or not, because if you attack someone, you obtain a status called Rogue status, and that has a timer.
And anyone in your group, your whole group receives.
Yeah, that's correct. So if, for example, if I'm in Indigo's group and Indigo kills someone, I get Rogue status as well as everyone else in the group. So if this Rogue status runs out, if the timer runs out, you get money.
A bunch of money.
You get money because you survived your Rogue status. So we were running around and just getting Rogue status by just murdering people. And we were in a group of 4, not many people were. And so we were just murdering people. And then they'd gang up on us. Or like a higher level player would wander in, and we'd just be like, "Ooh, we can't touch that." And we'd run away. And there was this one part, the most fun part was we were near the entrance of the Dark Zone. So basically where you go from the PvE area to the PvP area. And we were shooting and we were fighting and it was the longest fight and we were not making any progress. And finally one of us realized that we were right by the entrance.
That'd be me.
Yeah, that'd be Doc.
There's a little alleyway, I remember in the beta watching on stream. And I wondered if it was the beta with the ledge. There's a ledge you can climb up, a ladder on, that has no escapes. Either you fight and you die, or you fight and you live.
Yeah.
So it got them all to follow me.
Yep.
And for, a 10-minute standoff with a bunch of players?
Yeah.
Slowly creeping off and pull pot shots.
It was longer because Croog kept poking his head out and shooting people. And
which would extend the road time.
Yep.
It was so fun. So we'd be like 18 seconds away from losing our what's the fucking
rogue status?
Our rogue status. And I would just poke my head out and I'd see somebody running into the Dark Zone and I'd just shoot a bullet out of my pistol at them. And I'd poke my head back in and it would go back up.
And we would just sit there and go, God damn you. So we'll just get right into it since we've only really been playing The Division in WoW.
Yep.
And The Division is brand new. It is an MMO, regardless of what people say. We've been playing for a week to varying degrees. Indigo, how do you feel about the game so far?
I love it. I really do love it. Give me a little more. No. I am. I'm just giving you like the sound bite.
The summary.
Indigo loves it, and then I'll go into detail.
Wait, can you give me the sound bite one more time?
Indigo loves it.
I'm inserting that into podcasts from here on out.
Good call.
And so, anyways, so the reason I really like it is because while it is an MMO, it's a strategic MMO. So, when you're playing in a PvE situation, you're running around, there are tons of other players that are going around. Well, it's instance-based, based off of your party. So if you're in a party of two or more, your group can literally walk around anyone, split up, but more than likely they'll want to stay together. And it will allow you to kill mobs, do your missions and stuff like that. And like the dungeons are open. So you could literally walk into a dungeon. It's not like you're seeing a load screen. You walk into a dungeon and you go straight in and you do your combat.
Right.
Now, what's really great about that is that you're not having to deal with other players that are also trying to quest at the same time or also trying to do your dungeons at the same time.
Right. In the PvE area specifically.
In the yeah, exactly. In the PvE situation. But it still opens up to the PvP zone, right, which is the Dark Zone, which is so much fun. And they do absolutely everything to force people to fight each other. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so awesome.
Wait, okay,
like,
so I'm going to pick up from there because that's why I love it so much. So literally every single thing in the Dark Zone that I can see is designed specifically to get people to fight. So I think the best example is there's a mechanic called extraction. So if you find any gear in the Dark Zone, you have to extract it first in order to be able to use it. And if you don't extract it and you just leave the Dark Zone, that gear's gone. If someone kills you, you drop all that gear and they will probably immediately pick it up. If they don't pick it up, if like a mob kills you or something, you can run back to your body and pick it up yourself, but chances are it'll be gone. So anyways, the extraction mechanic works like this. You stand in the middle of a helipad and you press the F key. It shoots up a flare that you can see from wherever the fuck you are. It starts a countdown timer.
The game becomes a holdout.
Yeah, it starts a countdown timer on everyone's screen, not just your group, not just your own. Literally anyone within vicinity of you in the same instance as you sees there's an extraction going on at this location and it's going to arrive in this many minutes. Everyone sees that. If you open the map, all the active extractions that are currently going on, because there's more than one extraction point on the map,
yep,
all the active ones are flashing, so you know where people are extracting stuff. And then once the timer reaches 0, a helicopter comes and drops a rope. And it has a couple of hooks on it, and you can attach your bag to the hook, and then the helicopter flies off with your gear, and you're done. The rope only has 4 hooks on it. 4 is the number of players in a party. So if somebody else is there that's not in your party, they can steal like your spot on the hook. So you either have to kill them, or you have to wait for the next helicopter, which means you have to call the extraction again. You have to wait for the timer again. It's so much of it. None of the extraction zones have good cover. Like, all of the extraction zones are designed from
one's safe
from my perspective, in such a way that you cannot be safe. If you're hiding, like, yeah, sure, you're hiding from like this entrance, but that entrance is looking right at your face. Like, there's not a single, I can't find a single one that's just 100% safe. It's so good. It makes me want to just get
and I'll pick up from there because honestly, this is the biggest draw to the Division. The Division's other PvE elements, like the missions/dungeons, they're fine. You have your daily challenges that are great to give you endgame credits. That's kind of fun. It's an amalgamation of genres. It's primarily an MMO and a looter shooter. So you're going to get a little bit of Borderlands, not as extreme in the variation of its loot, and you're going to get a World of Warcraft PvE grind style stuff. The Dark Zone, in my opinion, needs to be the template for any MMO PvP from here on out.
Dude.
Wow.
I'm
Shots
dead
fired.
fucking serious, especially with people complaining about PvP servers being dead and everything else, and the MOBAs taking over that kind of combat. The Dark Zone is scarce intentionally with scaling harder AI enemies that have no problem and no qualms about chasing you down city blocks. And this is a nearly one-to-one recreation of Manhattan. And the best parts of the loot are in the hardest to get areas, and the experience is totally separate whether it's solo or group based.
Yep.
Solo, you are paranoid as balls because everybody's on the same team to a degree.
Yep.
And there's a function that allows you to see what everybody drops and loots. So if you want to go rogue and you want the best gear, you follow a guy to the subway. We're just going to get our loot. That's the best place for loot. He dropped that yellow? What should I do now? Do I continue to be nice? Because if I go rogue, every time I damage or hit somebody, I become more and more of a target for prime points. But if I can escape, I come out with a greater incentive, higher risk, higher reward. And we are talking about extremes here. Playing as a group, fine. But then you have giant targets on your back.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're allowed to go further and further up the DZ for more loot and for harder challenges, this is something that can be easily incorporated into contested areas for games that still want to have a two-faction system like Wildstar or World of Warcraft or anything else like that, and go, okay, cool, we can go solo, but then we'll allow other players that can't, if they're on the other faction, they'll instantly attack you. But the option for somebody on your own team to backstab you for loot as well, and to go, hey, that loot you just got from that mob, not quests, you can quest in an area just fine to get your stuff, but the good loot in a contested area are in these really hard places with really good AI. Because while the AI is not perfect in the Division, it has all the same skill sets you do with good enough AI to realize that they need to flank you, they need to rush you, they need to support themselves. Yeah.
So they have a couple of different like archetypes for the AI mobs that I've seen so far, and this is leaving bosses out because bosses are their own thing. They have AI that is melee, so they have like bats. They have AI with sniper rifles, and all these are identified on the nameplate of the AI. So the sniper rifle will have a little scope, and so on and so forth. They have AI with shotguns. They have AI with light machine guns, and they have AI with heavy machine guns. And like, I've never been in an encounter where the shotgun wielding AI doesn't run up to me immediately before I take out the supports and just start loading shotgun shells into me. Like they know exactly what to do. Like if you have a shotgun, you run in immediately before he can pick anyone off, because the second you lose your supports, you're dead. But like it's so fucking good. I love it so much.
And a lot of people complained about the bullet sponginess of the characters before the game launched, and I was a little in the camp too, thinking, man, that's very MMO-like with the giant life bars. But it makes clutch heals a lot more fun in that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes clutch headshots a lot more fun and more satisfying. The game is supremely about teamwork first and foremost. I am dead serious that Massive, who created this game and had Ubisoft publish it, Massive deserves a huge round of applause for what they've done with the Dark Zone. And I'm dead serious. The Dark Zone needs to be something every team looks at from here on out in developing PvP for their game. I'm sick and tired of always being arenas only.
There's literally one thing I think that they could have improved, which is to get rid of Uplay.
Yeah, get rid of Uplay.
If it was just on Steam, that would have been like the kicker. That would have been best game in since gaming. Period.
For 2000s, the best game in 2000s.
Yeah.
They're leaning on the Dark Zone and going rogue as being a big mechanic of their game, and they do have other stuff coming out like Last Stand and all their other DLC stuff. But I guarantee you that will be the saving grace of the game.
Yeah, we have news about stuff that's coming out for them, which actually we missed last week. So, we're a little bit late to the party, but it's still exciting nevertheless.
Well, that being said, why don't we hop straight into this week's zone?
Sure.
Yep.
Do it.
Go on to Slash Zone, the weekly.
All right. So Slash Zone. So the first thing we got. You sound like a robot, so I'm gonna just
you need to turn off your microwave, bro.
Go for it.
So the first bit of news we got this week is Black Desert Online went through some scheduled maintenance and resolved some few issues. They resolved an issue where monsters properly responding, resolving some issues where some staff did not drop previously from scroll bosses, and there's a bunch of different patch notes. So we're going to send out a link to you guys to the forums for this, so you guys can take a look at all of their patch notes, and there's a good amount of data involved with it. So take a look at that.
Resolving an issue with monsters properly respawning is a big one. Like, oh hey, I killed this mob. It's never going to come back ever again.
That, or it was responding like 5 at a time. It doesn't say.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I killed this one mob, and then 8 respawn in its place, and then you kill one of those, and then 8 respawn in its place.
But mind you, this is Black Desert Online, which means if 8 respawn in its place, that means fuck yeah, more shit to kill.
More stuff to grab.
That's how I feel in Black Desert. I'm like, all right, I don't know what any of these things actually look like or what their actual special abilities are, but I like
they're dead already.
I like slashing shit out of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the next thing we're gonna go into is Neverwinter Nights Online.
Neverwinter Online.
Neverwinter. Well, is it Neverwinter Online or is it Neverwinter Nights Online?
It's Neverwinter.
I always see it as Neverwinter. Neverwinter Nights is a other game.
Yeah, Neverwinter Nights was the
same world.
The other one.
The other one?
The not MMO one.
Okay. So they're currently going through a sale right now. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, it already closed.
Well, depending when we get it out.
It
closed.
Slash Yell comes out on Wednesdays. So it's out.
The sale ended Monday, March 14th at 10. So I do apologize. If you're listening live or have a friend on Twitter, tell them right now if they play Neverwinter and take advantage of this.
Yeah, so it's a 20% discount for any service items, and then 80% off of character slots. So yeah, right? That's a really good deal, especially if you want to play some of the newer classes that they've added. So I really like that. There's actually some other news in Neverwinter, but I didn't have enough time to really decipher it and come up with what it really meant. Like there was some new dungeon stuff.
Language? Oh, okay.
No. It was just a lot. It was like a dev blog, but I didn't have enough time to go through it and really understand what the dev blog was talking about. So I'm going to hold off before sharing bits of information I don't know anything about.
Right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I play the game. It's just 30 seconds to read, 5 pages of a dev blog was a little much for me. So that being said, that's kind of it for Neverwinter. If you notice, we're kind of going through news really quickly today. And the reason for that is that later on, we've got a very long conversation, a long topic to talk about.
The back end of today is very dense.
Yeah. So,
at least with opinions and rants and all that other stuff. So
bear
with us.
Dense in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Well, but at the same time, there are some games that had a ton of news and some games that are just very much like, here's this. Case in point, The Secret World. So they released the cover to issue 14, and there's a lot of awesome speculation. For the Secret World, if you've never played it, it's an MMO that takes all of the conspiracy theories and myths and legends and gives you a world that's very reminiscent of our own and allows you to go through them with some of the most inventive questing that I've seen in a while since EverQuest, and very fun stuff if you're into mythology and into cults and into the conspiracies and into the world around it. So on their Twitter, they released cover 14, issue 14. That's what they call their big drops of content. And issue 14 on their official Twitter says, feels like Stargate for some reason. To me, I like the fact that I've seen bits of it that feels very Cthulhu, and I haven't played the game myself yet. But I love the fact that there's a very big Egyptian bent / possibly intergalactic bent to this, and not typically in a little green man alien bit.
Why are you winking, Croog?
Because I'm from Egypt.
Yeah, why are you winking?
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
So Croog and I have both played this, and I believe we're going to have on Chestnut coming on in a couple weeks, the show, and she is a much larger Secret World player than us, so she's going to be able to kind of go more in depth into the Secret World than we will, but we'll let you guys know when we've got confirmation and exact dates on when she's coming on. But this image looks really, really cool. It definitely does feel like Stargate. It's got this kind of portal-esque going into what looks like Egypt. You got pyramids, got the whole Illuminati triangle thing going on. So I'm intrigued.
They do a better job with their comic style issue covers than other comic book MMOs do. Like this, very much. I love the fact that their production values on it feel very much like it's in the line of a Vertigo or Image title, like East meets West or Invincible or Fables. So I really do appreciate that from someone who loves comics. Just out of MMO loop, but just it made me think of that.
You're a nerd. Got it. That's
a
nerd.
So do we want to wait for the next piece? Well, why don't we talk about WoW first, and then we'll go back?
Yeah, sure. We'll do that.
Okay.
So
who wants to take that on?
I'll do it. That's fine.
All right.
So World of Warcraft is releasing Chronicle Volume 1 this week. It'll be the first of 3. And what they've basically done is allowed prominent community members and reviewers, such sites like Mog or Massively OP or Noble87 on YouTube. They give them advanced copies and have freely told them, don't tell them everything, but feel free to tease them with all sorts of stuff. So they've done different kinds of reviews or updates or hints about it. And what's basically happening, Dark Horse will be releasing it, and it's going to be a retooling of the Warcraft lore. So they've taken all this lore from the past 20 years of games, from Warcraft all the way to World of Warcraft currently, and they're cleaning house, essentially. They're filling in the blanks. They're cleaning up the loose ends that we've seen that we wondered what happened here with the games. And Chronicle 1 is going all the way from the birth of the cosmos, something that we've rarely ever touched upon in WoW, to Medivh's waking in Warcraft 3, or just prior to that, which is pretty interesting. They have all the extra wars that have happened that we know of and some that we didn't. Gorgeous illustrations about the map of Azeroth and how that's changed from time to time. So if you're a big lore fan, if you're a big WoW fan, that's something to definitely invest into. It's going to be a pretty big release, and it's one of 3, so keep that in mind.
And I have very strong opinions about this because I started playing WoW like 2 weeks ago, and that means that I'm entitled to have these following opinions. That's what I sound like sometimes. I like monk healing. That's actually the only opinion I have about that game at all. So, yeah.
But you're also not a big lore person. You prefer the actual statistics and everything else. So this is interesting passing to someone like you, not in a defensive way. But it's like, okay, cool.
Sure.
When can I
people like you?
People like you. What do you mean, you people, Doc? Hello?
Egyptians. That's what I meant.
Fisticuffs. There will be fisticuffs.
Anyways.
I wish the people on the podcast could see that, but nope, that's just going to read as awkward silence to them.
So those were kind of we'll go back to the other sad news. I think
let's finish off the division stuff first, because that's not as
heavy,
not as construction or
I see. The only reason I was thinking about keeping that is because it would be a palate cleanser.
Yeah, I'd like to do the division afterwards.
That works.
All right, cool.
So you want to talk about EverQuest next or Wildstar?
Yeah, let's talk about EverQuest next. So a couple weeks ago when Doc wasn't on, I brought this game up to Croog. So EverQuest Next was a game that was being made by, what was the name of the...
Daybreak.
No, before Daybreak bought it.
Oh, SOE, Sony Online Entertainment.
Yeah, so SOE originally owned it and was building it, and then Daybreak bought the game, and then they became
Daybreak.
Sorry, yes, I'm sorry. They became Daybreak, and as soon as they became Daybreak, they went radio silence on the game. And I don't mean like they used to have a post every like 6 months and then they stopped. They were posting at least once a week. They were live streaming,
roundtable discussions.
Yeah, there was a lot of conversation and a lot of talk. And the very not surprising news came out on Friday that Daybreak Studios has decided to cancel the game, which saddens me as well as quite a few other people.
Yeah, I was excited. I knew a lot of people in my life that played video games that are older than me, like not you guys older than me, like much older than me, that played EverQuest, like the original EverQuest, and thought it was amazing and were excited for EverQuest Next. I don't think they knew very much about it. I think they were just kind of like leaning on the IP and were just excited because the IP was coming back. And I was excited to try it. Like I've never played EverQuest or EverQuest 2. I wanted to get into that universe, but I'm not going to go backwards. I'm not going to play EverQuest 1 or 2. And I don't know what to make of this dying. Maybe I imagine we'll see another iteration of something EverQuest-y in the future.
There's a lot of...
Landmark is still going to be made, though.
Landmark will still be supported?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know if that was or not. That's something I hadn't even seen as part of the discussions. There's been a lot of discussion about the game and saying, well, does this really another nail in the coffin of the decline in the MMO genre. And to be honest, the MMO genre is saturated and at the same time in a very odd spot, because consoles can now catch up to that massive multiplayer online experience, as we've seen with Destiny, as we've seen with The Division most recently. MOBAs have taken an aspect of MMOs that have typically been their domain, which is arena PvP action that's outside of Quake and all kind of stuff, to be honest. We already know about that stuff. But that kind of massive version of it have kind of moved over to MOBAs. Mm-hmm. And PvP scenes in MMOs have been seeing some kind of a shift. Some people will decry that, but honestly, take a look at what's happened. I mean, honestly, this just seems like a not a surprise, as much as I really was interested in EverQuest Next and its ideas and its graphical style, which I truly loved. But I don't know how it would have survived. EverQuest 2 had barely survived, and there are games now that are on the brink of extinction, and there are tons of games that are, even though they're going strong, remaining, they're not growing and they're not plateauing. Everyone's kind of slowly just still declining.
Well, and I will say that they did say in their announcement post about EverQuest Next, and this is a quote from their announcement post: "Rest assured that our passion to grow the world of EverQuest remains undiminished." So they're not like abandoning the IP. They're still going to do stuff with the IP, but they haven't really talked about what stuff is. Like,
I can't help but feel that it only retains to the current live EverQuest and not a continuation of the IP.
And not to
no,
be
it says to grow the world of EverQuest, not to maintain
means
the
more
status
expansions.
quo of Fuck you.
Don't but they've been making more expansions for the original EverQuest for a while, so.
No,
I'm not trying to be negative, Nancy, but that's what it reads.
Yeah, not to be super cynical about it or anything, but
yeah, like you are with everything else.
It's easier to maintain EverQuest than to create a new IP base on EverQuest. And that's me being like, dollars and cents.
Well, and this is what confuses me is when they switched over to Daybreak, as far as I'm aware, they didn't do any layoffs. They kept saying, "Oh, we're still
not many, I don't think."
Yeah, we're still supporting the game. I mean, specific to EverQuest Next is really what I was talking about. We're still working on the game. We're still doing that, and then a year of silence, and that is when they turn around and go, "Okay, we spent an additional year of people's salary, of continuous development, and now we're going to cancel it." Like, so that's what.
So not to stoke any fires, not to throw any fuel in the log. Could that potentially? I hope what happens is that while the project is canceled, the team just moves to a new project. I really hope that it's not the game is canceled and then the team gets layoffs, because it would just suck ass.
This is my suspicion. When they turned to Daybreak, like the new leadership for Daybreak decided, we're not going to continue this game. These are still very talented people and we want to keep them. And so the last year was more of them slowly picking and finding them new locations within their other IPs that they have and designing and building. So that's what I believe.
I just realized what I hoped would happen too.
Okay, go for it.
I hope that what happens with the EverQuest Next cancellation, and we haven't heard anything about people leaving or being fired yet, and I hope that doesn't come to pass. I hope they take the Blizzard route, in the sense that Project Titan was canned, but then we got Overwatch out of it. I hope there was something in EverQuest Next, in the way the team functioned, the way the team created their projects, that Daybreak went, you know what? The EverQuest Next IP isn't going to work, but you've got something here, and we need to tool that further.
Yep.
I hope so. That's what I really hope.
Maybe we'll see maybe they decided that the direction or the art style that they were going with the EverQuest Next wasn't the direction they wanted to go.
And chat does say they have said they have unannounced titles. So that might be what happened. I'm really crossing my fingers. The last thing we need is more layoffs.
Absolutely. So for that, I'm going to give a little bit of a pour out for them. Pouring one out for the homies.
Did that go on your pants at all?
I hope it did.
Come on, look.
I mean, I had tequila to drink,
so I can't really feel it.
You can't feel your legs after 4 beers? Wow, you are.
You might need to stand up. I mean, if you do, you might fall down to the ground instantly.
You are a lightweight, my friend.
It's Stella. He's drinking Stella, right?
No, the other two were Strongbow ciders. So this is my
Other beers
so
are available.
Also, quick disclaimer: we don't condone you should drink, especially if you're underage. We're full-grown adults, and we're not driving and shit. We're just talking shit.
Who is an adult? Because I sure as fuck not.
Physically. Legally and physically, you are.
Oh.
Hold on.
Okay,
Indigo
gotcha.
might actually be drunk, though. Did you hear that last sentence?
Yeah.
Did you hear that last sentence? Hold on. I'm going to cut that last sentence back in right here. That sounded ridiculous. I'm going to start doing that with the podcast more.
I noticed it. All right, so from one sad piece of news to something that touches, I know, at least all three of us very, very closely, and I know a lot of people that are currently watching right now, that this touches home. God, maybe I am drunk. Fuck.
Here,
I'll take over
let me do it.
Okay, go.
So what Indigo's trying to say is a piece of news that touches all three of us very dearly because we were a big part of this community for a very long time, as well as a lot of people in our chat.
And still, we know some of these people personally.
And still we know some of these people that developed this game. Wildstar is canceling its China release and has laid off quite a few people. So the details...
Also Donatelli.
What? Oh.
Donatelli.
I didn't think we were going to talk about that, but we can if you want.
I mean, just super briefly, because I just wanted... I haven't said anything on Twitter about the Wildstar Layoffs or anything like that. Mike Donatelli, who is creative head or was creative head, who's also heading the China deal, he's been diagnosed with cancer.
Yep.
So 2016 is the year of fuck you, cancer. Just from us, I don't know if anybody from Carbine hears this. I hope you do. Mike, it was really cool meeting you and everything else. I hope you kick its ass, and I hope everything goes well for you guys. But back to continuing the bad news.
Yeah. So original reports came out saying approximately 60, but the last tolls were more closer to 70 that we were guessing. We haven't gotten any official word from Carbine about how many or exactly who were laid off. We just got tweets or some notification from former Carbine employees whether or not that they work there or not. You know, some people just changed their Twitter handle from CRB to what they are now. So it looks pretty bad. A large portion of them was the art team. It's very sad to see this. The official wording from Carbine, or I should say, was it more NCSoft? NCSoft or Carbine?
It's NCSoft.
I think it was Carbine. Is it?
NCSoft. Omid's NCSoft.
Oh yeah, Omid is NCSoft. So Omid came out and is saying that this layoff is due to the cancellation of the China release, as well as to focus more on localization of the game. And
he also specifically said that the layoffs were due to Wildstar's performance as a title and the transition of the game from a beta title to a live title. Those are the reasons.
And then a live title to a free-to-play title. He also mentions that.
Right.
The very first marker, not a surprise.
Yeah.
Just any way you look at it, it's not been performing the way that a lot of people believe it should, and that in the way where it stands in the current atmosphere of MMO titles. Regardless of what your feelings are, negative or positive, the brass tacks is, it's just not performing up to enough to keep that many people around. And it fucking sucks. There is something I need to say personally, and it's not like, oh my god, feeling the fire. There is an article from a website saying that there is possible future layoffs continuing. None of that is substantiated. There's multiple people saying, whether inside or not, that that is right now hearsay. So people have been pointing out, going, it's not the end. See, there's more happening. Whether it's not. That one part is for sure 100% at this point not confirmed. No one has mentioned, whether inside or out, whether they're ex or current, that future layoffs will happen. At least for this specific reason, this degree, and this severity. So people that are reporting that and perpetuating it, just calm down about that one. Keep in mind on that.
And that being said, let's imply that this website did get insider information from a contact. I can only imagine, as being a part of a company that did quite a few mass layoffs towards, for a while, emotions are high at whether you are fired or you're staying. And a lot of things that are said are misconstrued because of your emotions or how you feel about the situation. So that being said, it is very possible that someone did tell this website that, but it's not confirmed. It hasn't been officiated. It is just information that has been told.
But yeah,
So I don't know how to talk about this other than being upset as a whole. You know, as Wildstar was my introduction to podcasting,
the community.
It's my
I mean,
introduction
we've all
to
been players
MMOs
for
as a
years.
whole. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, we're a little strong on this one. I mean, like Croog said, it's his very first one, and for Indigo and I, I'm almost certain this is our introduction to a community at large.
Absolutely.
Like
Played games.
It's like
but
my
never
high school
played other
sweetheart.
MMOs.
Like, slap me in
I
the
played-
face. Like, baby, come back. You can blame it all on me.
I will.
I
You're
played-
the reason why.
I played other MMOs. I was even in large guilds. I never felt a part of a community as much as I did with Wildstar.
Yep.
And I still feel very part of it. And I think that no matter what happens to Wildstar, as we aren't aware of its future. All we know is what has already happened and the direction that they are talking about. I will say that wherever the community goes, if it does go away, I'm sure that we'll do our best to be a part of that.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, like, a lot of the people that write for QueueTimes came from Wildstar. Like, a vast majority of them are people we met on Wildstar. And it's like, yeah, there were parts of that community, the Wildstar community, that were unfortunate, but a lot of it was really good. There were a lot of really good people there. And it's just kind of a shame to watch that. Like, it's like your favorite coffee shop with all your favorite coffee shop friends is going away. Now you're never going to see your coffee shop friends again, except for, like, the couple that you gave your number to. Like, but I want all my coffee shop friends. Why can't I just keep the coffee shop so I can talk to my coffee shop friends?
But I kind of feel the same way about this with any production or any development company that lets go of people. Like Lionhead, when they chunked a bunch of people out and everything else like that. Like, this kind of stuff, it's interesting because you get a lot of people who obviously believe any kind of layoff is the end of the world. And it's just interesting. I mean, in some cases it's true with Lionhead, possibly. We don't know what's happening with Carbine. I don't know.
Anyway,
sorry, I'm looking at something else in chat, so I apologize.
We'll knock on wood for them and move on to the next.
So with that, I'm also going to pour one out for those homies.
Sound like you took a frothy leak to the podcast.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Really sorry about that, podcast community. I promise there was no urine involved with that sound effect. All right, you were totally right about us needing a palate cleanser now because I'm a little sad. Do we want to jump into the palate cleanser? Because I want to jump into the palate cleanser. I need to get this negative emotion out of my mind. The Division, which we're talking about again, except for now.
Hold on. Just take a moment. We're all just going to take a deep breath of positive energy in with the good and out with the bad.
Doc didn't join us because he's a negative Nancy.
No. So, as a quick palate cleanser, someone in chat had asked, hey, what do you guys think about a Sword Art Online MMO? For those of you who don't know, Sword Art Online is a anime where people play a World of Warcraft-esque game for Western audiences, and then they get stuck. Something happens, and they're stuck in the game, and the game keeps going. And so the Dylan Gamer 360 asked about that, and I said, hey, Samsung's working on it. But after a little bit of digging, apparently I was wrong. Originally, IBM was rumored to be working on it, but apparently that rumor is unsubstantiated and untrue. So Sword Art Online, currently not an MMO. That would be a game I'd love to see. The anime is pretty interesting. So
this is very similar to Dot Hack Sign?
Yeah, but Dot Hack Sign had a pseudo MMO to it where it was never massively multiplayer online, but it passed itself off as one for a single player story.
Sure.
The rumor on the SAO one was that it was going to be a legit 100% MMO set in the SAO universe, but not following any storylines about any of the characters in the game. It's just going to be the world of SAO that you would play.
And so they ask if they did make that game, would we play it? I would.
I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
Only if I actually got to live inside the game, and only if my death actually led to death in real life.
With VR, you totally can.
I'm just saying, as soon as I start playing VR MMOs, you're all going to be jealous. Anyways.
No, we're all going to never be your friends again because you're never going to come out once you go in. It's going to be like the Matrix. And then we're going to be the only two remaining free souls on Earth, and you're going to be a pleb whose body heat is harvested for energy or whatever happened in the Matrix.
I think you need to take another breath there, buddy.
That movie was a long time ago.
Take another breath.
All right, Croog, ready?
Woosah, woosah.
In with the good, in with the good.
Woosah.
Out with the bad. All right.
Sorry, you said out with the bad, so I had to say your name. Moving on to the Division. there's a lot of exciting news with The Division, not just our, takes on how amazing and fun it is. So it looks like there was a really OP talent that was removed from the game in a patch, but I just kind of put it in the news because I thought the way they removed it was funny. It was the trained talent, which you could find on weapons, and essentially the way they removed it is if you have a weapon with the trained talent on it now, you'll still see that it has the trained talent on it, but it doesn't do anything currently. It's turned off, basically. And then in a future update, they're going to replace it with something else. That's how that's working.
It's still on the gear. It's just no longer working.
The text is still on the gear, but it's not doing anything. It has zero effect.
It's a weird way to handle that.
Yeah, I know. They just turned it off, left the text there, and then in a future update, which may not even be the next one, they're just going to replace it with something. I think that's so weird.
Meh.
I think it's weird.
I think mostly because every time we see someone pull out a mechanic in an MMO, they either pull it out completely or they replace it immediately. This whole idea of it's just taking up space now is very odd.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to, this is broken. We've updated it to do this other thing instead. Or this is broken.
It's just straight up gone.
It's gone. But this is broken. We're going to leave it in, but we're going to take it out, and then we're going to put it back in, but it's going to be different. Like, it's just so convoluted of a method of handling an update. Anyways.
I'm only making a guess about this. It's possible that could all be back-end problems. Like, by completely removing that, you're having to completely change multiple drop tables and how loot is actually...
It's not even an item, it's a stat.
No, that's why I'm saying those stats are randomly generated on pieces of gear. So means that's what I'm saying. I got you. So I'm sure that by changing it so that cuz it's referencing trained, and trained status now means absolutely nothing happens to it. That's making a modification to one table that affects all other tables. But then removing it completely probably affects multiple.
I don't know. Look, now we're speculating into the back end of The Division, which we don't understand. So, they did it for whatever reason they did it. I'm not mad they did it. I just thought it was funny. Like, looking at it from the outside, just the results are, we're going to take this out, but it's still there, but it's not, though. You just wait until sometime later, it's going to be what it should be. Like, just saying that sentence, right, is so silly. Yeah, that's not it with The Division. We can move on. So, there are a couple new features, and we actually missed this. We could have announced this on last week's episode, but we totally missed it. So, sorry, guys. We'll try to not let that happen. So, The Division announced a couple of cool things that are coming in the actual next few months. So, it looks...
next few weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
We're in the middle of March.
So it looks like April is going to see the first incursions added to the game. It's basically, so the way Ubisoft described it is a new challenging endgame activity developed specifically for squad play. So it's kind of like raids. Like if you... What do you...
I have first-hand experience in their challenging content. They do not fuck around.
No, they don't.
In that game. When they say challenging modes, they mean it's going to whoop you up and down the alley.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
Yep.
While laughing at you.
Yep.
And then pissing on your corpse.
Yep.
You're thinking of a different third-person shooter.
No, wait, I'm sorry. I'm actually thinking of New York itself. I apologize.
I was reading a couple of articles about this, and all of them started calling incursions raids somewhere in the article. They said raids instead of... So I thought to myself, the only experiences that I've ever had with raids or ever seen a raid group has been 20 or 40 people. So I'm just imagining to myself 40 people in The Division running down a hallway.
God. The Division has 6-man teams. They're still pretty challenging. I'm pretty sure... Or sorry, Destiny, not The Division.
Oh, The Division, okay.
Yeah. In Destiny's raids are definitely challenging. They're definitely giving players a run for their money.
Yeah, I mean...
So
They didn't release very many details aside from endgame group-specific challenging content. I'm excited to see what the specifics are. I want to know what the group size is. I want to know what the gear is going to look like. I want to know if the mechanics are going to deviate from... the mob types we've seen, because we've pretty much seen all the mob types that there are to see in the game so far. I wonder if they're going to add unique mob types per incursion, which would be wonderful. I would kiss them on the cheeks. Anyways, that's incursions. That's coming in April. This update also brings loot trading to the game, which is something that we immediately missed when we were in the game. We were like, why the fuck can't we trade? How do we trade? Why aren't we trading? I want to give you this thing. Why can't? So they're going to add trading to the game. The only deal that they gave is you're going to be able to trade with people in your group. So it doesn't sound like, from the way they phrased it,
that's fine,
that you're going to be able to trade with random other people, like in the Dark Zone, for example. Because in a group is the only way you can play with other people outside the Dark Zone. So.
Well, no, yeah, I was going to say, you can go into the Dark Zone and be like, hey, I got this item, you want it? And you can trade randomly. Or you could literally go into zone chat and just say, hey, willing to sell this item, or you know what I mean? Like, that still exists.
They didn't say whether or not you can trade money.
Sure.
They only specifically mentioned items. So that's probably a thing. They just didn't specifically say it. Anyways, we don't need to talk too much about that. Trading's fairly simple. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I had a hiccup. So May, now we're talking about May, brings a second incursion into the game. This is just 2 months out. And plus more Dark Zone content. So a wider Dark Zone area, more places for you to explore and get ganked by me and Indigo and Doc and whoever else is coming along with us. These are 2 free updates, as opposed to the DLC that they're going to be releasing, and which there are 3 of. And those 3 are set to arrive throughout the next year. That's a lot of shit. That's a lot of shit in the span of, less than 6 months. Less than 3 months, even. That's a lot of stuff. I have a huge...
We'll see if they can keep their word on it.
Huge boner. Huge boner. I need to get to max level.
Let's see if they can keep their word on it.
I've
already seen... No, wait. I wanted to say this. Not negative about the content. I've already seen a bunch of people online. It's been less than 7 days since the launch of The Division, and people are already on the internet complaining about the lack of endgame and everything else, and what happens when we hit 30s is it. My only thought is, people like me that have the free time to get to the endgame are in a very small percentage of that community.
Yep.
And I don't know why you're complaining about it. I'm currently experiencing it and having a blast. I get the technical issues. I don't get the wah about it. Oh, this is me. I'm just...
No. I prefer the negative people that are upset about getting killed in the Dark Zone. That makes me happy.
This game is too hard.
Oh, I left something off. Guys, I left something off the notes.
Sorry, I'm being an ass. Sorry.
I left something off the notes, and it's a really important PSA if you play The Division. Last piece of Division news we have, I promise. I know we're fucking fanboying over this like a bunch of little plebs, but excuse us while we fanboy over it like a bunch of little plebs.
You know what? It's lived up to the hype where it needed to be.
It did.
So it deserves it. It deserves it for the episode.
In Division, there is a problem because your character collides with every other character. And when you're in what are called safe houses, which are essentially non-combat zones, you're not in your own instance. You share that instance with other players. It is possible for other players to block you into that zone and like against a wall or like against a counter because you're talking to an NPC with their bodies because they all have collision. They released a hint for people, I guess. If you run at a player for approximately 3 seconds, the collision will turn off and you'll go through them. So if somebody's fucking with you and blocking you in or like blocking a door, just run straight at them, just hold the W key, run straight at them for around 3 seconds, and you should just walk right through them. That was their tip.
Massive has been really good about those quick little tips and stuff, like the whole queue on day one, where everyone couldn't access the introductory laptop at first, and they were like, boom, okay, fix it. Like the little stuff that they knew wouldn't take massive overhauls of the game, they've been on top of it. So once again, this whole episode of Slash Yell is not a circle jerk on Massive, but Massive deserves, well, no pun intended, massive kudos for the job they have done with The Division. What other word do you want me to use?
Whoa, hold on. Coming from the guy that was making pun jokes earlier? No. You
don't get that. You don't get to slap your head on that.
Mine was good.
I wasn't trying to be funny. Massive has done a spectacular job with this game.
Oh, spectacular was a great word.
It's not.
I think we should move into LFG. I think we should move into looking for group.
Let's do it. Boom.
So looking for group is going to be...
Yeah,
it's a short one this time around because we knew we were going to have a ton of conversation about The Division and everything going on. But Crowfall, if any of you were actually a part of the Kickstarter and you supported them, and you feel like you've been seeing a lot of stuff going on with Crowfall, and you kind of wish you would have put in more. Well, guess what? You can. They're offering you upgrades. You can actually upgrade your status with them if you supported their Kickstarter, and getting you into earlier bundles. Yeah, exactly. Getting you into earlier betas or earlier alphas, I should say, because it's still in alphas. So
we don't have like super specific details about them, because in order to see the bundles, you have to be eligible to purchase them. So I don't think any of us have given any money to Crowfall so far. But if you have given money to Crowfall and you sign into your account on their website and then you go to the store, you should be able to see everything you're eligible to purchase. So that's all personalized for you. So even if we did have details, it wouldn't be very useful for the majority of people. What?
If you have access to that information, we'd love to hear from you.
Oh, yes,
because we'd love to see the actual details about those mini bundles.
Yeah, that'd be great. If you could send us screenshots, you can send them to yell@QueueTimes.com in an email. That'd be wonderful. I'd kiss you right on the cheek over the internet.
But that's not all
on how I'm going to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Crowfall news. It feels like there's just a team dedicated to just creating content for them every single week. It's just absurd the amount of information that they give out each week. So last week,
not even in beta yet.
Yeah, I know. Last week we mentioned that there was a Crowfall like hints and showing off the Ranger. Well, it was more screenshots than it was anything. So now they actually have come out and given us a full-on video of the Ranger abilities.
Yup.
Super cool. Yep. I will agree with Doc. The face is a little bit derpy, but I mean, the Ranger is really cool.
They're pretty cool. Just I think what that video showed me is the potential for their game. Like the art style is gorgeous, and 70% of the animations are absolutely mind-blowingly great. Like when she puts away her bow, she actually like pulls it under her arm and then like stretches the string and then pulls the thing over her back.
The transition area.
Yeah, it's really fucking smooth too. Like it's great. But then some of the animations are just awful. Like it's so bad. And I know it's
they're going warts and all with Crowfall. They're straight up telling you this is an alpha. We like some of the particles on the Ranger spells are definitely not done, or they're going to need a second pass. She has an AoE with a stun where the indicator marker is much larger than the animation. The animation fizzles out way too much. So stuff like that where people are going to look at it and go, that's going to cause a problem when people are playing, and stuff like the art style is getting there. They found a pattern and they found an aesthetic that they're going for. I know it'll be more refined, but right now it feels a little too much in development for me personally. But the archetype style, it's pre-alpha,
it's as in development as it can possibly be.
The concepts they're showing right now are solid enough to make me go, okay, I'm definitely interested for more.
I'm telling you, the fact that the Ranger has ranged abilities and can swap over to dual wielding totally brings me back to nostalgia 3.5 D&D rogue Ranger characters. Like the fact that Ranger's like, oh, I'm going to take this feat, I'm going to be ranged. Or if you're a smite player, Uller. You're basically playing Uller. Like,
yeah, no, very much Uller.
Do whatever I want. I'm Uller.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's really cool. I thought it was really interesting. I don't know if it was magic or I don't know if you got this far into the video, but you notice when she brings up like the ice shield that's on the ground?
Yeah, what was that?
It was.
Don't know.
It was a wall, so she can shoot
I understand
from behind
that. No, I got that part.
It was a wall so that she could shoot her arrows from behind the wall.
But why can she make ice?
I have no idea.
Yeah, why was it a specific one element? And that it raises some more questions on like, well, are archetypes associated with certain elements? Or will there actually be cover mechanics, or is it just an animation that gives you a visual indicator of higher defense? So once you create a physical object in the game, I'm very curious as to what happens after that. Because I don't see anything in this game yet that screams cover mechanics, but that seems very odd to me.
No.
Specific
There's no way it has cover mechanics. There's no way.
Why not?
I don't know. It just doesn't fit.
Who knows? I mean, this game is already...
Maybe it's
this
not
game's already
necessarily
trying
cover
something
mechanics.
different with the Dying Worlds.
Yeah, maybe it's not so much cover mechanics as in like when they're ducking behind something, but maybe they can't duck, but they create this wall, and when they stand behind it, they get a buff to their defense.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
I can see that
I specifically say cover mechanics because the Ranger is not tab targeted. All of the Ranger's abilities for range is in the vein of Wildstar, in the vein of the Division, in the vein of any third-person shooter. Your skill is totally dependent on your DPS, your ability to aim.
Your DPS is totally dependent on your ability to aim.
Yeah, there you go. You got me there. There you go. There you go. Yep. Thank you.
Got your back, bro. Got your back.
This tequila is probably.
Well,
whatever's happening to you, you need to stop talking, and we need to start talking because you sound like a broken microwave toaster potato, all in one somehow.
Damn it.
So yeah, definitely check out the Ranger video. It's very exciting. It almost makes me want to give them money. So close.
Almost?
So
I've
close.
been wanting to give them money for a while now.
Let's get into beta first.
You're rich.
Excuse me, how much did you play for Black Desert Online?
Shut up.
So, that being said, the founders actually came out and are giving us more information. I love these guys. These guys are my favorite right now of like just how open they are with just telling us just everything. So they have a founders update and they're toppling castle walls is their title of this. You guys need to check it out. If you're interested in this, because I could honestly talk about Crowfall for a while. And since we've already talked about the Division for a god-awful amount of time, and I think we're also getting close to the end.
We are getting very close to the end.
I'm not going to go into much detail in it, but read it, get into it. If you guys are interested in it, let us know, and we'll start covering it.
Watch the video first. That's what'll help you decide the most. Watch the Ranger video. It'll be in the show notes, obviously. If you like that, dive into that game because there's so much information about it just chilling, waiting for you to suck it up with your nose like a line of QueueTimes doesn't endorse the use of drugs under any circumstances. Unless they're like, like Tylenol's good, like stuff like that's fine, but like other stuff is probably not fine.
So I think we should end the show with Doc ranting. What do you think?
All right, Doc.
Okay, there's a reason why we call it slash yell.
Here are the rules. You're going to go, and then when I'm done listening to you, I'm going to turn it off without telling anyone. Go.
Okay, so before I start, everyone, I hope you have a good night. We'll catch you next Sunday at 5 p.m. PDT on twitch.tv/QueueTimes. So slash yell specifically was made for stuff like this.
Oh, guess you're not talking about
fuck. Oh,
I'm turning it off.
Is it that bad?